Hello everyone, welcome to a new video for the gold price prediction based on Elliott Wave Analysis. And as usual, we're gonna do our deep analysis for the gold as every week. And before the Monday starts, of course, with a new week, we need to be prepared to see what we might expect this week. So we're gonna start with the monthly and the cycles and what we might expect for the next cycles as well. So we're gonna have an overview here. Starting with the monthly, where we have a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5, taking into consideration the 90s, 60s price here. Yeah, so this is very important because it's a wave here, formation of a 1, 2, where you can consider an impulse rather than a zigzag, right? So that is a huge difference between two scenarios. Because when you count here a zigzag, you have to continue counting zigzags toward the upside here, which is an impulse correction impulse, which it might be your wave 3 in a leading diagonal 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 in zigzag. So zigzag 1, zigzag 3, zigzag 5, right? And that means, of course, that we might still look for higher, but the difference is that your wave 4 in a leading diagonal is enormously very low, which means 0.38, 0.5 Fibonacci level. The perfect Fib levels normally for a wave 4 in a leading diagonal, where you might reach the 1,732 or the 1,200. Of course, it's a very, very bad numbers, guys. I know. That means, okay, psychologically, this is a very far probability, right? Highest probability, and that's why we take the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Of course, I cannot give you here a 1, 2 based on a zigzag. Therefore, I have to go back to the history here to get, of course, an impulse where I can consider definitely a wave 2 as a 1, 2 in an impulse. What is the difference? Meaning, wave 3 here, impulse, might be unfolding as a large extended wave 1 and then wave 2, and a large wave 3 still unfolding because it is unfinished, and then a wave 4 and a 5 to continue toward the upside in a beautiful wave, of course, for an impulse there, massive impulse, meaning the wave 3 here is still unfinished. And the difference between this probability and the different probability that we have later or before, guys, is a wave 4, which is very shallow. This wave 4 is reflecting a wave 2 here after having double 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, and a 5. And that means your wave 4 in this count here, which is the gray count, is something very interesting to watch there. And that means your wave 4, 0.23, 0.38, is between the 4K 100 or 200, let's say, and 3K $500. And this is exactly my psychological number that I'm looking for the gold. Honestly, I'm looking for a deep correction because the wave 2 obviously is a shallow wave 2 flat here, and we are looking for something very sharp, aggressive, that it looks like alternated exactly with this wave 2. So I'm looking for something very sharp and aggressive that it might reach the 0.38 and we might reach the 3K 500. Highest probability is this one, of course. Highest priority is also this possibility. Therefore, I'm still looking currently for the next weeks for the 3K 500, guys. Maybe it's not going to be directly. We're going to see the probability how we might get it. Maybe it's going to be something longer like that. We might push higher and then push down later on. Because as per timing, this is nothing as a alternation, of course, as you can see for a wave 2. Let's dive with the channeling here. For the channeling analysis, we're looking also for something very interesting. Now, this channeling analysis, of course, the channeling, it is based on the impulses always. It gives us a lot of hints and tips if our impulses are healthy or not, if our impulses are looking weak or strong. And this is where it comes the very futuristic perspective for the price of the gold. This is what is the most interesting for the gold as buyers, physical buyers, and as investors, where you would like to see, of course, a very long term here investment. We're talking about 5 to 10 years, of course, as investment, guys. We're talking about 2033 here as a large investment where we might hit the 10K $856 And that because of the 1212 here, which is your major wave 3 as well, you still lack of a wave 4 to be finished there, alternating this wave 2. And I'm looking always to the area between the base channel and the acceleration channel, which is mostly should be filled with a wave 4. This is what happened most of the time. So I'm looking definitely for this region here in the next future before we push toward the upside in a wave 5. And that means the wave 4 still can have different figures there, meaning an A, B, and a C, a W, X, and a Y, a large triangle, A, B, C, D, and an E, and then hitting the base channel and then pushing for higher. So a lot of probability are still there, of course, but what I'm looking for in the future, in the next few years, is a 3,500. It can be already very, very close, guys, but it can be even in this form. Yeah. So before we push toward the upside again in a 7,500 for the 2030. So very interesting what we are looking at here. Of course, this part is interesting for traders, but after this is interesting for the physical gold buyers. So that would be very interesting. For your first investment can be interesting at 7K 500. Then maybe you sell. Then you're looking for another buy here from 2030, 31, and then sell around 2033 here, where we might hit the 10K for the gold in confluence with the silver, by the way, in our deep analysis. Same channeling where the silver might hit 10 times in performance for the gold, where the silver can become a $1,000 for the ounce, guys. Very, very interesting analysis here to keep it in mind as well for the channeling. Now, for the daily, if we take a look at the daily analysis, those are the new probabilities that we're gonna live with them every day for the next weeks, of course. Now, as you can see, we are much more internal right now, a little bit more micro level than, of course, a macro level. And we start to analyze the smaller moves here. Now, of course, on the macro level, we were mentioning this large wave 2, which is very long one for 2 days. And it is very likely that it is one of the probability right now on the daily as well that it might be unfolding here as a wave for very long in time to reach the 0.38, 3,600, even 3,500, as we mentioned on the macro level, which is also in confluence with the base channel. And we might start to see the wave 5 after all. Currently, I'm looking for these options. So one of them is already out. I'm going to remove this, but this one has played perfectly so far. But the next move here is very, very interesting. Why? Because we got a 3 ways down, 3 ways up, and a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. So this move can be an A, B, and a C finishing up over there. So I'm going to move a little bit inside here to show a little bit much more clearer what we're talking about. So this correction here is a very likely regular flat. A, B, and a C, 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. Don't forget the wave 5 took the low, and we're very close to finish a structure as a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 for a wave 5. We're going to see this much more closer also on the 1-hour chart to see what we might expect exactly tomorrow or tonight, I would say, at the opening of the market. But this is very, very close to finish up the wave C and that we push higher again. So we might start with some greens there. Basically, also, there is a probability where you might be even in a wave Y here. This wave Y meaning W, X, and Y, and that means, of course, 3 ways down, 3 ways up, and then wave Y, meaning A, B, and a C here. And that means, of course, it's a structure of 3 waves as well for a wave Y. But at the end, we can see that we might even push a little bit toward the upside here, right? So even if we are in a wave Y for an ABC zigzag, can be a wave B there because you are in an A, B, and a C. That means, of course, your wave B has to push higher. Now, in case that we have finished a large ABC regular flat, also we might push for higher in a wave B again until this crossroad here. Why is this crossroad? Because there is a probability that this regular flat, which represents 3 waves, becomes your wave A. And then we might get a wave B, and probability is also there to get a wave C, as we saw in the macro levels. This is what we were talking about, reaching the 3,500, not tomorrow, not this week, not this month, maybe in the next months. So this is what it might happen as an ABC, large regular flat, to hit, of course, the wave 4, as well the timing that we are looking for. Plus, this is not the only probability at this crossroad. You might be in a large wave A, wave B again, wave C, but not reaching the low. And this is a triangle formation of a wave D and a E to finish a large triangle for a wave 4, and then pushing for a wave 5 again toward the upside for a new all-time high. So 2 probabilities at this crossroad, where we might get, of course, something much more longer in sideways for triangle, or simply a wave C to finish a wave 4, both of them. Yeah. So again, because it's a crossroad, because you still have a probability also to push for a new all-time high, which is also an ABC finished here, which is a very short wave 4, and this is a reflection or alternation for this short wave 2 there, and not this one. Let me push this a little bit higher, guys, so you can see it on the screen. So this is the small correction wave 2 and not this large one. And this is the huge difference here. Now, why I'm doing this, why I'm estimating as well this, because of course, I like to be very safe all the time, considering all the probabilities at the same time and see the confluence. Plus, if you count this as a 1, 2, 3 here, you have a wave 4 kind of like a triangle. But if you alternate it, you try to alternate this. This is a flat, very shallow, and this is a sideways, also very shallow. Normally, you would like to see a little bit more aggressive move here. Now, there is alternation in shape, but not in aggressivity, right? Or in price. So basically, I would say even the time is very shallow based on the wave 2 as well. This is an additional question mark. So what if that this wave 4 belongs to that small wave 2 here and not this one? Meaning a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 for your major wave 3 there. And this leaves us with another 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. And that's why we have a crossroad where we might continue towards the upside for a new all-time high. 6,600 is very likely as a target in case that this will unfold. Of course, at this point, KG will be very intense and very, very active, especially at this point, because it's a crossroad. So there is a decision making here for the market, whether it is bearish or bullish. And we're gonna see. We have to, of course, to read the market, guys. I cannot say from now, oh, definitely we're gonna be a new all-time high. Nobody knows that. Even KG doesn't know that. And who says that he knows it is a lie. So basically, if we're looking here for a 1-hour chart, at the 1-hour chart, we are looking for the last move toward the downside here as a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. So we're looking for an impulse to finish it, of course, to finish our structure here, which is after a potential, let's go a little bit higher time frame. After an A, B, and a C, the wave C is finishing up as a 1, 2, and then wave 3, 4, and a 5. Now, our count here for a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5, your wave 3 is unfinished because internally it's still very impulsive and we didn't finish a double 4, 5. Because if you start to count here, a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 for your wave 1, 2, and another 1, 2, and then 3, 4, and a 5 for your wave 3, your wave 4 finished, and you're looking here for a 1, 2, and a 1, 2 internally, because this looks like a zigzag if you want to take it as zigzag, meaning diagonals, but it's impossible. Your wave 4 didn't interfere, and plus the wave 3 is longer. And this is where we mentioned last time, like, okay, we passed the 1-to-1 fib level. That is a wave 3 unfolding in double 1, 2. And here we are. We are in a wave 3, 4, and a 5. Perfect target has been hit as required in the last analysis on Friday. And we have mentioned that this is very likely a wave 4 unfolding there. And especially that the push toward the upside here started to be a little bit tricky. Now, it can be, of course, a 1, 2 there where you have a diagonal wave 1, 1, 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for an impulse as a wave 1. And then wave 2, and this is your wave 3, no invalidation, right? So it's also a green flag right now in case we continue to push for higher. So invalidation of bullish, right? Which is exactly at this number or at this price where we confirm that we're pushing back down towards the downside, $4,042. Now, very interesting that the price at the close here pushed very, very high. Maybe to finish this kind of like a zigzag, because this can be a W, can be an X, and ABC wave Y. Because of this correction here, and after an impulse, a very, very shallow correction, 0.38 minimum requirement for wave 2 was not taken, meaning it's an ABC zigzag for a potential wave Y. Finishing, of course, WX and Y wave 4, and then pushing back down towards, of course, lower prices for a wave 5, finishing the 3, finishing another wave 4 and a 5 to finish the major wave 3 in our blue zone here target, which is in confluence $3,800, still very, very likely. Now, where KG is going to start to turn into something bullish, and as, of course, a green flag, which is exactly our invalidation of the bearish, $4,126. This is where I start to be alert here, and of course something else might be unfolding as bullish. In this case, if something else is pushing as bullish, what is the scenario here? How we finish the wave 5? Well, it can be, guys, it can be, but the only probability here is two. I mean, two probabilities. First, you can consider that this invalidation for an impulse, meaning 1, 2, 3, wave 4 barely took the wick here. So the wick of the wave 4 took the wick of the wave 1. And when two wicks gets into invalidation, well, it comes a question mark. It becomes doubtful. Of course, there is no way to know this, only when we realize, oh, this is invalidated, meaning it's a finish wave 5. How we can finish it, the only way is an impulse 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The wicks are not to be considered as invalidation in this case. Now, another probability is an expanding diagonal. Since, of course, that you want to say, okay, invalidation is taken, rules are rules, even with the wicks, I don't consider that. So let's say this is the case. Then you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 expanding diagonal, which is a rare case. It's a very rare case. But in such a case where you have finished a wave 5 and you push for higher and you get invalidation, then this is where you consider the rare case expanding diagonal working perfectly. Yep, so this is what we are looking for then as a conclusion for the gold. We're looking for two key levels here for the bullish and for the bearish. Of course, highest probability still for the bearish, since the price still under the invalidation. So it depends on the opening of the market. If the market is going to open very high here and start to push for higher, okay, it's a green flag. Very likely we have finished, we have bottomed. We push a little bit for higher here, and we start something else as a finished here wave 3, meaning very likely that this wave 3 is done over there. Meaning we're looking for a wave 4 in this scenario, which is the red zone, and that's why it is there already. This red zone, meaning we might push around the 0.38 here, 4,250, 4,133, because of course when we remove the double 1, 2, then it is a finished impulse. We're looking for the major wave 4 then, and then wave 5 to come back towards the downside. So at the end, the trend is still downward. Even if we push a little bit higher, we're still in a risk of a bearish scenario. That was it for the gold for this week. I believe that more reds are to come for this week, but tomorrow or on Monday, we might still see some green. That is a high probability because we're very, very close to the invalidation, and the Friday has closed very high. So if the market open will be very high as well, then the wave 4 here might be in play. And then we push towards the downside again, meaning a green Monday, maybe Tuesday as well. And we start to dump on Wednesday and etc. That was it for the gold, the deep analysis. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your likes and comments. See you in the next one. Bye bye. Before you leave, make sure to join our private Discord community. There you will get daily updates faster than YouTube, plus exclusive bonus trading signals for the gold, silver, Bitcoin, and stocks. You can also request one special technical analysis every day and get access even to our only members video on YouTube and also on Discord, and stay ahead, of course, with economic and political news that actually moves the market. And of course, we do regular Q&A sessions, so you can get your questions answered directly in the Discord. And of course, if you're serious about leveling your trading, the Discord link is below in the description and in the comments.